Kevin Joy here from Big Body Ball. I wanted to talk a little Auburn recruiting. Hugh Freeze has done a fantastic job since he has taken the Auburn head coaching job. His first cycle, he brought in a top 20 class. He had an 18th ranked class on 247 Sports. In 2024, he had the 10th best class for recruiting, high school recruiting. That class featured Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson, that's two top 40 recruits nationally, both at the wide receiver position. So they are looking good at the wide receiver position. They also in that class brought in 5 in the top 100. So that class was stacked, and that was the 10th ranked class in the country. Also a part of that class, quarterback Walker White. Maybe he's the quarterback of the future. I don't know, too early to tell. But also, this year, their 2025 year was even better. They brought in quarterback Deuce Knight and a pair of top 30 defensive linemen. And they went all in on defense in high school recruiting this year. 9 of their top 10 recruits are on the defensive side of the ball. So that is clearly an area that Hugh Freeze wants to address. And I thought defensively they were, fine last year. And I thought offensively they had a really big turnover problem. They got bit by their turnover bug, and I think that really cost them in a ton of games. But also this year in the transfer portal, they were bringing in 16 players, including Eric Singleton, that wide receiver from Georgia Tech, who I believe is the highest rated wide receiver from in the transfer portal. So now you couple him with Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson. Like, their receivers are going to be really good in the SEC this year. And you bring in Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold is the wild card here because he was at Oklahoma and didn't really do all that well. He also suffered from the turnover bug, and he didn't really pan out at Oklahoma, which is why he entered into the transfer portal. I don't know, maybe a new scenery could change things for him. We'll see. It's worked for other players, so it's possible that works for him. But they're really going to need to rely on that and hope that Jackson Arnold hits, because their team is going to be pretty talented. Even in the SEC, they're going to be a pretty talented team. While still young, they're going to be a talented team. So Hugh Freeze is on the trajectory and on the track back to bringing Auburn back to national relevance and relevance within the SEC even. Now, they kind of circled this year, I think, because when we look back at last year, they knew they had Peyton Thorne going into the season, and they knew kind of what their ceiling was going to be. It's like he's not going to be exceptional, and he's not going to, win you a ton of games that you're close in. So, and they punted on that. They didn't bring in another quarterback in the transfer portal. They didn't really do a big overhaul. I think they were saving a lot of that money and an investment for the 2025 recruiting class and for the 2025 transfer portal class. And they're going all in. They're ranked 4th in the transfer portal this year. Like I said, they're bringing in 16 dudes. They're ranked 6th in recruiting. So they're bringing in a lot of really good talent. And they have a kind of tough schedule. It's definitely workable, but it is a little tough, especially in the first 5 games. They go at Baylor, at Oklahoma, and at A&M. Those are 3 of their first 5 games. All 3 on the road, and you draw Oklahoma and A&M. And then Baylor is a team that last year kind of surprised a lot of people. And I think that they could be good again next year. They have a really good quarterback returning. So I think that those are some tough games in the first 5 games. But you get Georgia at home, you get Bama at home. So those are the 2 big behemoths that you want to draw at home. And then you got Mizzou, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Vandy. Those are the rest of your 4 SEC games. You got to go 4-0 in that. And I think you can. I think you can beat Missouri. I think you can beat Arkansas. I think you can beat Kentucky. I think you can beat Vanderbilt. So I don't think that's crazy, but you got to go 4-0 in those games. Hopefully split between Oklahoma and A&M in the SEC, and then, shoot for the stars for Georgia and Bama. So it's not like a murderer's row, but it is a tricky schedule nonetheless. But I do think Hugh Freeze has done a great job in terms of recruiting. The results haven't shown on the field, so we're waiting to see in that. And Jackson Arnold is going to be the catalyst for that. He's going to be the biggest wild card. If he hits, then Auburn has a chance to really compete for the SEC next year. We'll see. I'm excited to see what goes in this season. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.